So we did the 0 to 1,000 yesterday. And today we're going to do these higher rated dudes and women. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the top. It's a little bit random. I could start at the bottom too. But by starting at the top, it gives me a little bit of more time and energy for the highest rate. A lot of times I get there and I'm just like exhausted, you know. So, Quad XC, how about all the intro videos and about how to reach the next rating level? They could be upgraded. Dude, yeah. Well, let's just say, we got a lot going on at the Dojo Quad. I am hearing you with that for sure. Okay. But let's just talk for a second. We're updating our whole the way we do problems. We need more opening repertoires. There's so many little projects that we have going on. Oh, buddy. We just, and then we have to, like this openings trainer thing that we're developing, it's a tech problem, but it's also something where we want to dial in how it looks for the dojo, There's a bunch of opening trainers out there, but we want it to be like really carrying the philosophy of the dojo. Okay, here we go. Draft Mirror River. You might also be for next week. You might be on this. So this is the week. This is for the one that started Wednesday. But if you weren't there by this Wednesday, it's going to shove you to the next week of 10-9. I don't know if that answers your question. All right, let's take a look at what Max Ing says. For me, what has worked has been focusing on one specific area of the game at a time. Especially heavy focus on tactics combined with art of attack, improve my middle game, a lot allowing me to punish weird play by my chump opponents much more effectively. I noticed that there is still much inaccuracy to punish at my level if you know what to look for, which was something I was unable to do before. Okay, great. Okay, let's go take a look at Max Ing. Draft Me a River is also seeing himself now, which is good. Here we go, Max Ing, software dev, enjoying chess in the dojo. Beautiful. You want a job, buddy? We might have a job for you, Max Ing. Now, Max Ing has yet to be a convert to this beautiful thing here. I have a feeling he's not doing it every day. But this heat map, I'm telling you, it influences myself and others like, oh, now I got to put myself up there all the time. Okay, we got some checkmates tests and tactics tests. He failed on those, dude. I don't know what's going on there, Max Ing. That's something weird because you did great on your PR survival. Okay, let's take a look around here. Clubs, European. Okay, then we got some activity. And right, I don't think he's logging the time. That's why you don't see that much over there. But he is logging the points. Okay, so that looks good. Well, let's click middle games and strategy for a second. So there, right. Read art of attack, master games, techniques of positional play just started, and reassess your chess. Great. Okay, that looks really good. Okay, now games. Here we go, and we're gonna go here, pop. Let's see, do we have a time clock? We do, my friends. This is 1 hour plus 30 seconds. Let me just show you this time graph. Boom. And that looks pretty good. Max Ing, if we're just looking at this graph, it would suggest, we're gonna hope that Max Ing was clearly winning at move 40. That's what we're going to hope. Because otherwise he was, he might have run out of gas and just started blitzing at the end. But otherwise, up to move 40, it looks like a pretty good natural time usage from both players. Can we just stop and admire this beautiful clock graph that Jack created? I mean, it just tells a story that you wouldn't get if you didn't have this amazing clock graph. Okay, so next step, that's what we're going to go over to the game review. And I'll This is reviewed. Okay, he says, very equal game until I got lazy and blundered. Okay. I don't mind a draw against equal rated player when playing with the black pieces, but I do wish to be more under control. It's an interesting word, this under control thing. I feel like old-time GMs like to use that phrase, my coach especially. You have lost control of the game. You know, he's giving me the business all the time. And I certainly know the feeling. You know, there's a feeling of being in control. On the other hand, sometimes with chess, you know, control, I don't know, you know. Anyways, there's some positions that are inherently out of control. Good move. Good move. Fine. 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 Snip. And the guy plays knight takes e5. Okay. Knight takes e5. All right, so in principle, this is suspect because, at least on principle, white doesn't want to trade any pieces, right? Okay, so now you played e6, and it's kind of interesting. It looks like you're aligned with d e5. You want to play bishop e6. And then the question becomes, well, could you do your same fancy bishop e6 here? Anyways, you played e6. I think it's okay. You're playing a barbarian here. I don't like this queen f3. Let's just say for a moment that I approve of bishop b4. Okay? It makes sense to me, bishop b2. But now that here's the part that doesn't necessarily make sense. In 31 seconds, you took the bishop on d2. But why, I ask you? Why are we taking the bishop? When you take the bishop, you develop the knight. So at least just superficially, it looks to me like you're losing time when you take on d2. So the natural move would be castles. And this would tell white, be like, dude, I don't know what you were doing over here. I don't know. Now I'm touching this coconut. You know, and you always have this in-between move. There's no way he can, like, hack you apart here. And if he takes, you just say thank you very much. You take with either knight, honestly. And then, you know, you're threatening things like knight c2. All right. Bishop d2. We gave him an important tempo. Castles. He takes, and now uses his extra tempo with knight b3. Okay. So you play queen e7 and you don't like it. And let's say some obvious things. You have a problem with this bishop on c8. And if you don't fix the problem, you're going to be poor. Now, one thing I want to stress is my experience with people at your level. Okay? You're already very strong, obviously, but you often don't feel the pain of your bad piece, right? And so that's what I'm feeling with queen e7, that you're not sensing the pain. So you talk about queen b6, and maybe queen b6. But to me, the first question has to be a5. Now, I think maybe you were worried about knight c5, okay? And maybe it is something to be worried about. However, just on a gut level, I'm looking at here, and I have two threats. Now, it's still pretty complicated. I'm not going to pretend it's not complicated. But that would be the thing that I would want to look at, right? And your queen b6, also, You do something like this. But here, I'm worried you're worse with a move like rook fc1. Right? Okay, so queen e7, castles. Now, it's a natural enough move. Maybe we're in a little trouble. a5, and now maybe knight c5. But I don't know why he's doing it so fast. He could play rook fe1 first. And we're just going to say it looks like he's got a very nice position after rook fe1. He's playing knight c5, presumably to stop bishop a6. Okay, makes sense. Queen f6. Now, I want to say, Max, here would definitely, it would help to do some more more notes. Because you think about it, queen f6, then you're saying, well, I'm getting the business done to me now. Because your bishop, yeah, you haven't figured it out, bud. You haven't figured it out. Now, one approach to the position is to say, look, I know it's bad, but the guy, he's not going to crush me anytime super soon. And if I can get this rook active, then I don't have to, I worry less about the bishop. The bishop is, in fact, controlling the knight. So one thought here, for example, just things for you to analyze. I'm not saying it's necessarily the best move ever, but a move like a4, intending rook a5 and queen a7, because you got to get off this e-file. Right? Okay, in any case, queen f6. I'm not a fan of this move, bishop d5. I mean, maybe he's got to do it, but I don't know. Why would we fix your bishop? What is he doing? What is he doing? Horrendous move. And you know why he's doing it? I think he's like, oh, if I do it this way, I can double my opponent's pawns. No, that's not the way you play chess, mouse. Come on now. Come on now. That's not the way you play chess. So what I want you to see is this person doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. He needs to understand that your coconuts, are all in a bunch. Okay? That they're all in a bunch. And he needs to keep it that way. So the default move for white should be queen e4. Just holding it together. Right? And, you know, the main thing, I don't really even care if you trade queens. Maybe I have something better in rook fe1, but I'm just playing natural moves, and I'm just saying, oh, you are significantly worse because of this chump. In fact, we're going to go ahead and say queen f4 is a blunder now because bishop d5 does work. Right? Okay. So, queen f6. He makes a big mistake. Huge mistake. C takes, queen takes, pawn takes, now you're fine. Rook fc1, and this move's a little suspect. Maybe you can play this way. Now, I want to stress something. Nimzovich said that pawn weaknesses get more extreme the further they move up the board. So that's the drama with e5. Further, you should say to yourself, oh, the knight is better when there are local weaknesses. So the second you play e5, there's local weaknesses. Right? So let's think about what you could have done instead. First thing to notice is the guy isn't doing much to you. Okay, so even if you found nothing, a simple plan would be to walk the king over to where it's more active. Right? There's other moves, maybe a4 too, like I said, with a rook a5, just to pin down the coconuts, as we say here at the dojo. I like that less. Notice after rook d8, he's not doing much. He's not doing much. And the drama for white here is, first of all, he showed that he didn't understand. But second of all, if the position just opens a creek, you are going to be better, right? Rook d8 also has the simple notion that, hey, maybe I'll play bishop d7 next move. And then bishop e8, and then I can concentrate on this stuff. But I also want rook d8 so I can play king f8. So sometimes, by the way, I respect what you're saying about pawn here. I just want you to see that now it's a little scary for the weaknesses that are now in your position. All right, rook c3 was played. Maybe an interesting move. Maybe. It's kind of interesting because he's saying, I don't care at all. I don't care at all about the things you're doing. And he spent 5 minutes on it. In some ways, maybe his best move of the game. Yeah. So now maybe it's a good move. I didn't even know what he was going to do. I just felt like this e5 was a bit much. All right, rook e8. I'm not sure I understand this check. And he comes here. Okay. Now, this to me is like just a superficial move. More natural would be something like rook d1 or f3, you know? Yeah, I like rook e8, by the way, is growing on me because it gives him a little bit of heartache. Let's go back for white just a second. Rook c3's, you know, he's dreaming about attacking you and yada yada. He needs to fix his king. f3 is a very natural move here, you know? Just say, black, what are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? If ed will play rook d1, and then white's definitely better, you know? And then otherwise we ask you, what are you doing? What do you want to do to us? Okay, so a little funky. Good move. Check. I don't understand. You come up. He tries to mess with you. And now we are saying we are obliged to push. Okay, I don't understand what he's doing. And you're saying on bishop f5 you were worried about f3. You might as well throw this in, though. Sure. Throw that in too, baby. Yes, sir. Rook d1. No, he's not doing much, right? So you said now bishop f5 makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, okay. It's looking good. a3. Back. c3, I'm not sure what he's doing. Now, we do need a plan. When you talk about rook g8, I'm not sure what rook g8 does. One thing I just want to go back to, actually, when you look at this position, I understand that you were concerned about rook g7, and that's primarily what's driving you to play bishop f5, because, you know, there's no rook g7 because of bishop g6. This move is kind of spicy. And, you know, you're saying that the bishop here, you know, bear in mind, as long as this guy's out, then this rook, the bishop can kind of declare itself active here. Now, f5 is controversial in that we're putting another pawn on the light squares. But it does introduce this threat. And if a3 now, we always have this stuff. And then all you need to calculate is on rook g7. Are you going to play rook h8 and king f6, or are you going to gambit the pawn? Okay, these are some of the questions you have. But that would be something to analyze. Yeah. Okay, so bishop f5, a3. See, now our rook isn't too active. Rook c3. And I don't know about rook g8. I'm not sure I get it. So here, here. And now you go bishop d7. See, you're going to end. So what happens here is you end up saying to yourself, oh, I'm going to play for f5 anyway. g3. This is a fun move, f4. That's I mean, I want to give you props for that. Now, I don't know if it works or anything, but I definitely want to give you props for that move, dude, because that's the kind of thing you should be looking for. That's a very nice move. And your opponent believed you. He was like, all right, I'm going to play king e2. And then after that, then I believe in your position. You said check. Okay. Now your bishop's amazing. Okay. And now you played king f6. Very fun position. Now, couple thoughts here. So one bummer is you can't play rook b6 yet to swing because of knight e4 stuff. And so you're worried about gf. And that leads you to play king f6. I kind of like it, dude. It's interesting that he's never considering taking the pawn. I think if I was white, I'd be taking this pawn. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's very dangerous. I mean, this f3 move. First of all, you got to say you're not going to lose, and he has to really babysit all of the tactics that might go down here, you know? And when they say that a bishop's stronger than a knight, this is kind of the thing they're talking about. Yeah. Okay. Well, this is a fun position. Okay, so king f6. I definitely think we need some analysis on GF. Like, like, come on, we got to talk about it, right? We got GF, king f5, king e3. I don't know if you've got anything there. He trusts you. You said snip. And now rook c8. And he tricks you now with knight c7. Okay. Well, if he's never going to take your business over there, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe he's not going to get you. All right. So, it's a little bit sad. We're not going to lie. We're not going to lie. Just looking. Okay, you played rook d8. I just want to point out there's a really interesting variation that should at least be looked at with e3, pawn takes f3. Okay, so the threat is f2. So for example, knight d5, king g7, I think he's gone. No, it's not true. Rook's, he's got, no. He can just play rook c8, but, so all right, I was wrong about that. I was just looking for an idea. So, first of all, we got to talk about what you should have done. And I guess what you're going to tell us, well, it's actually an interesting question. What is it that you should have done? Is he already better? He might be. So, you know, you could talk about this move, b7, this move, b6. But he's still going to play knight c7. It's still going to be kind of annoying. Right? Let's say you go back, sadly. You can't do that in the other position because of knight d5. But if he just takes, it looks to me like, you know, he's got a pawn. He got a pawn, son. He got a pawn. All right. So knight c7, rook d8. And now you went bishop e6. Okay, so here's then the moment. By the way, I still don't understand why he's not playing GF. I don't get it. So here's the moment where you could have done this. And he cannot play knight takes d5 because of f2. Now, does it work? I don't know, because he's got king e1. But it's something to consider. All right, bishop e6. He's refusing to play GF. He's just absolutely refusing. King f5. Okay, good. Good. I don't know why he never took your pawn. Okay, so he says, all right, I'm going to try this business. And now this business. Yeah, so now want you to take, but I understand why you did it. And then this move, no one knows. That looks like a clear loss of time. Here you go. He never wanted to put the king on e3. There was something about it. He was obsessed from the very beginning. Good move. Now we're talking to him. King f1. All right, here we go. That's good chess. Here we go, buddy. I love it, dude. So, king e1, king g3, e6, and now you talk about playing rook f8. And you give this variation. Yeah, it looks hard for him. Not easy anyway. Yeah, it looks like you probably can hold this. Okay, it's king f3. And then we wanted to look, because we were saying right around move 50, yeah, because here's where you allowed rook f2 and then you stopped thinking. And you're lost here, but it's not totally over from here. Yeah, he's got to be careful. Check. Oh, he didn't figure it out, dude. He didn't figure it out. Look at that. That was an interesting fortress situation. And you give queen e6 as the only winning move. Because we got a zugzwang. So there's no king f3 because of this, no king g3 because of this. Very nice move. Oh, so that was a good game. That was a good game. One of the things, that I just want to stress, where you can really think about growing your game, is that both you and your opponent weren't sensitive enough to the bishop on c8. I know both of you probably said, oh, that's a bad piece. But you could tell from the moves that people weren't saying, oh, I got to really nail this dude down. And that, in my experience, is one of the things that really holds back people from making that next jump. Okay, good. So let's go back. Next up we have, I can't read that, Alio Perota. Analyze my first game. Would say the biggest improvement came from quitting the Rousseau gambit and Latvian gambit and generally playing f5 before move 5 every game is black. Really loathe studying theory though. Endgames are a clear weakness. My aim is to get a better understanding of chess and someday beat a titled player in a classical game. Now I'm just going to admit something. I don't know what the Rousseau gambit is. And because I've been reading about the French Revolution, we just got to go see what the Rousseau gambit is. Oh, it's a nasty move. It's a nasty move. Oh, the gambit is named after French master Eugene Rousseau, a different Rousseau. Okay, so, all right. A lot of these gambits were, I don't know, the names. Well, okay, now I'm going in deep. Eugene Rousseau, chess player. He was the strongest player in New Orleans in the first half of the 1840s. Okay, so he would have known Morphy back in the day when he was a kid. How about that? I didn't know. I didn't know Eugene Rousseau, dude. I didn't know. I assumed he was French, too. I assumed he was the other Rousseau at first, too. He played a match against the Englishman Charles Stanley for the title of chess champion of the U.S., the first contest ever for that title, 1845. Dude, I'm learning some stuff. Rousseau's second in the match was Ernest Morphy, dude, who took his 8-year-old nephew, Paul Morphy, and allowed him to be present for the contest. You gotta be kidding me, dude. Later, Paul was allowed to play Rousseau, and it became clear that Paul was the better player despite his young age. In 1850, Johann Löwenthal paid a visit to New Orleans and beat Rousseau 5 games straight. Oh, dude, he beat Winnower with the black pieces in 1867 in Paris. Oh, dude, my chess education through the roof today, dude. That's because I learned from Ali Upuda about the business over here. Okay, so Ali Upuda, you did one tactics test and failed. You could do better than that, buddy. All right, clubs, no clubs. Activity, oh, he's not logging his activity. Games. So basically, Ali Upuda joined us last October and has not been doing a lot of work. Oh, Kraai, you're in the wrong. Well, I'm about to go to the game. Okay, I'm about to go to the game. I'm sorry, I did blow it. But you guys heard. Why couldn't someone tell me? Yagimi told me and I wasn't listening. Okay. Good times. So we're going to hit on this game. Boom. And now it'll look correct in Mundo. Now, we're going to say that in this game, actually, I'm going to first show this time graph. Our hero did not use their time. Okay, so we're going to keep that in mind when we look at this game. The OBS gambit, right? Okay, so E4. You're doing fine, fine, fine. DE5, mistake. Strategically wrong, I agree. No need to release the tension. And you talk about some different moves, fine. DE5. You could play knight takes E5. I'm sure it's playable. And now bishop C5. Okay. Bishop B4, bishop E7. Yeah. Also the move C6 is no. You don't want knight C6. You got to be careful about knight G5. So bishop C5. I like it's fine. A little weird. Now let's play C6. Good move. Intuitive. The point of not developing knight C6 stops knight D5. Great. Great. Now you have a nice position. Queen E2. B5. I'm going to say it's probably okay. Yeah. Very good. Simple and strong. Rook D1. And now you thought for a minute 39. The move is not a mistake in itself. We're talking about Queen C7 here, but I played it too quickly. I often play too quickly. Good. So look, if you get something out of this program and this show, the thing to recognize is it's not about your openings and it's not about the F5 or whatever, though the F5 is really a bad move. But more importantly, it's about you slowing down. And if you, and probably, just doing this one game and saying it to yourself one time isn't enough. You're going to have to go after game of like, oh, I did it again. I played too fast, right? So you say I was lazy in my calculation of A4 and Queen B6. Okay. So A4 looks very scary to me. Yeah. You talk about Queen E7. Okay. Now. Let's continue reading what you say. Queen C7 was intuitive because it solidifies E5 and gets out of both pins, so frees black's position while maintaining the status quo more or less. Queen C7 is fine because black's position was fine before rook D1, and Queen C7 keeps the balance. I spent most of my short time checking if there's anything wrong with Queen C7 rather than being maximalistic. Okay. So. I'm just looking. Okay, couple things I'm not sure I get. So here, here. Then we have really two variations, one with king e8 and another one king f8. Let me just look at this one. You're saying king e8, bishop takes, queen takes, knight takes, bishop takes, queen h5. Very nice variation. And then on king f8, you go pop, pop, pop. That's also a nice variation. Okay. And then we're going to look at boom, 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 boom. Equal material, but I believe the queen, rook, and kingside pawns will cause too much havoc before black can coordinate and defend the king. Maybe. To my mind, it's a little bit more concrete. So, like, it's kind of like, let's say king g7. Does f4 crush your coconuts? That's my question. If it doesn't crush your coconuts, well, then I kind of believe in your business. And the point would be here, here. And then, like, is he beating you or not? You know, he's either beating you or he isn't. I don't see an immediate way for you to mess with him, but, you know, this would be something to analyze. Okay. So what I don't understand yet is what's the move that you actually think is significantly better than queen c7? Right? That's what I don't get. Because he's either you either trap the bishop or you don't. But if you play like queen e7, queen c7, queen b6, then in all those positions, he's going to get the knight b1 thing going on. I think, right? Wait, let me look at one more thing. Let me look at your queen b6 variation. Okay, so here he could play a3. The reason I'm doing this instead of a4 is on a4, b4, knight moves, bishop a6, bishop c4, bishop takes, queen takes, bishop f2. That was why I wanted to look at queen b6. But a drawback of queen b6 is also that you don't have b4 now because of knight a4. However, maybe the party's just starting. For example, a4, bishop a2, b4. Yeah, maybe something like this. Because the point is here, pop, pop. I think you're giving him the business. I think. I mean, it's something to analyze, right? Okay. So. Queen b6. Yeah, if we're talking about maximalist moves, I guess this is the one, right? This is the one. So, and the main point, the hidden point is later when we play bishop a6, there'll be the option of him playing bishop c4, and we want to be able to meet bishop c4 with bishop takes and then snipperoonie. Okay, so here we go. Queen c7, again, yeah, it's moving too fast. You probably thought you were just crushing him, but now if he controls the c4 square, he's going to be just fine. I don't really, I'm not a huge fan of bishop h4. Okay, let me just explain why. Because that bishop, if you play g5 at some point, is going to get locked out of the game. So let me just say that the most natural move for me would be bishop c1. I think h6 is a fine question to ask. Okay, so bishop h4 seems weird. You also looked at bishop e3. Reason I'm not too thrilled about that move is maybe you can play knight e4, but also like he's setting himself up to get whacked, right? Okay, so here we go. Bishop h4, g5. I had quite a long think here, 7 minutes, because I was dismayed with myself not properly visualizing that h6, g5 doesn't actually free the knight d7, but now because it has duties on e5 rather than on f6, right? So we don't get to quickly target e4, a4. Okay, so this is a really important thing. Now you're giving yourself a question mark, but you're not telling us what you should have done instead. What you should have done instead, right? And what the evaluation is. Okay, so I'm assuming castles if we don't like g5. And now he plays queen c4. And it's just a pure blunder here. However, your move, I'm a little bit, you played rook h7, which is a little weird to me. So the reason this is just a cheap move is he's missing that this is coming once you defend f7, right? So obviously, our main question would be bishop g3. And then you talked about knight h5. What I thought would be a continuation because knight e5 fails, so that we are guaranteed to reach f4 were it not for queen c4, and the knight is overworked. But wait a second. Can't you castle? ¿Por qué no puedo castle? No puedo castlear. Now, maybe you were worried about some knight e5 stuff. Maybe, but he's also pushing the limit when he goes knight e5. Yeah, I don't know. I think he's pushing the limit if he takes that. He's got, this guy's a problem, yada, yada. Oh, I see. You were probably worried about that bad boy right there. That's true. Okay, so is it true that you... Yeah, but you just castle bows. You're going to live through this? He might be better, but I don't think you're gone or anything. By the way, it's a real strategic question. Is this guy a genius or is he a chump? Well, I don't know. He owes us a tempo, over here. Okay, so queen c4, and then you played rook h7 pretty quickly. You're saying castles... And then queen d3, I don't understand. You just win the business. And then he plays this, bishop g3, bishop a6. That looks good. Do I understand? Boom. Oh, that's a thank you very much there. The game is basically over except for a blunder I make, which my opponent doesn't exploit. Oh, that's always nice to castle along on move 19. All right. Oh, yeah. Good. You found rook takes d7 here. So this is you moving too fast. So here the guy could have been a genius, but he went back. Good move. Good move. I'm not sure I understand this. Okay, he is crushed. All right, good game and good notes. The obvious thing is if you go over your games more, you'll not only improve, but you're going to slow down. Okay, let's continue. Next up, we have Aaron. For some reason, I'm doing much better as black than as white. Not sure if there's anything to make of that other than to work more on my white middle games. Perhaps it is a problem of feeling like I need to attack checkmate as white and thus getting over aggressive, but enjoying the program. Aaron has graduated numerous times. Let's go take a look. Look at that rating graph, dude. Flying up. Has not utilized This business over here, the heat map, has done a couple tactics tests, but they're way below his level. So something's going on there. Let's just look at what's going on. No clubs, very little activity. Games, we do have some games. So I think he's not logging. He's not logging his business here. Okay. Vincent's other ear. Oh, cry in the screen. Nobody tells me, dude, about it. That's okay. We're over here. Time is not given in this one. Well, mark this is reviewed. I believe this is Vincent's other ear. Don't cut off your ear, buddy. Okay, so this is a standard mistake from white. Now our bishop on c8 is good. Now I want to say this position, I've seen things like this before a lot at this level, and the drama, if you want to call it that, is we need to hold this square. Good. It's a little soft, c3. d3, that's a little soft. Fine. Good. Okay. I don't know about that. How about just developing our pieces with like queen d7? I appreciate what you're doing, though. You've activated your rook, basically. He didn't have to take on a4. He developed your rook. Boom. Now white discovers problems with his bishop. Okay, I agree. Yeah, so that's pretty clever. We're going to say that's clever. And now you play b4, but what's wrong with rook a6? Are you crushing the coconuts with rook a6? Well, we got to say, Kraai, it's still looking pretty good with b4 here. Pop, pop, pop. Holy moly. Okay, interesting. And now you played rook a1. I have a basic question here for you. Could you have played c2? Looks like we should definitely throw in c2. Okay, so we missed that. I think you're still winning anyway. Yeah, knight d4 looks very simple. Yeah, that looks simple too. It's hard to argue with that one. It's hard to argue with that one. This is just it's a slaughter. They don't resign these days. What happened? What happened? Oh. So it all fell apart, dude. First we lost the exchange, and then we're in this position. As far as I can tell, we're up a rook. And there's where we lost the exchange. We're up a piece. g5, there's nothing wrong with g5. And then that's a blunder. He finds that. And then, oh no, we actually lose this game? Oh, man. That is when you cut off your ear, dude. You're going to do that? You're going to cut off your ear? Oh, man. Yeah, he cut off his ear after that game, dude. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that, man. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you guys this vid here. So we go view on YouTube, and I get the link. So this is a vid I did about us doing the Stockfish 17. You can see it now there at the top on the right. It's a little vid I did talking about it. Yeah, let's see what kind of, probably, probably some chumps saying some things over here in the comments. You never know. All right. All right. So Let's continuing. Next up, we have Gustav Blixt. Gustav does not have a lot of points. It's hard to know what's going on over here. Yeah, not a lot happening. We're going to give him a follow, though. And we got like a USCF rating. We don't have any tests or anything like that. Now, one of the things I want to say about the program, let's talk about, fix it. Yeah, fix it, buddy. One of the things I want to say about the program, okay, is that a dream I have for the program is that we get more stronger players in. And so, if we have now a database that's continually updated, we have a file system, and we have Stockfish, that's really all the functionality that's important with ChessBase. So that way, I think stronger players will be like, oh, I'm done with ChessBase. It's so dumb. I'm going to move over to the dojo and do my stuff. And then we just get more stronger players engaging with our community, right? That's a big goal I have. I'm also seeing, though, in these graduations, this is a trend I'm seeing, is that the higher rated players are logging their graduations, but they're not really following the program. And I think a large part of that is they've been playing chess probably for decades, or at least a while, and they have their own scheme, their own way of doing things, and they're just like, well, I'll go and see what the dojo is, I'm not gonna, I got my own program, boss. I got my own program. And that, they're not taking advantage. It's kind of like it's an ego thing, right? They're not taking advantage. Very few of them actually going over their games too, right? Yeah, so it's a major problem. Let's see if Gustav's got a game. No games. See, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, no games, no clubs. Joined last year. Gustav, buddy, it's all here for you. Okay, so here we go. Pop. Next up, we have NKM, who is graduating all the time. NKM says, happy to graduate through this cohort so quickly. I mean, he's just been crushing it. Have been doing 1 hour of tactics every single day, and so far I am happy with the progress. I have been playing lots of classical time controls in OTB with my friend who is stronger than me, 1800 FIDE. Stopped playing games as frequently and focused more on the analysis of them, and it's led to greater focus during the games that I play, as well as a heightened understanding of the positions I am in. Oh, yeah. Fantastic. All right. So, boom. All right. Yeah. This he looks serious, man. You don't want to be, I think I'd be more comfortable listening to him playing the piano than I would having to face him in a kickboxing match. You know what I'm saying? I have also the feeling he's not logging yet. He hasn't discovered the heat map. I think it would help him, especially if he's doing like an hour a day. Boom, get in there and start logging it. Do our tactics, bows. Do our tactics. Yeah, all right. So now we got clubs. We got the Down Under Dojo. Nice activity. They do the kickboxing down there because they got the kangaroos, They got them kangaroos and they're pop, 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 kick. So he's been doing muchos tactics with the tactics here. You can see this. And, this is weird because let me go back. Time breakdown. And he's just doing tactics like a madman. That's good. And he's focusing on the mate in threes, not the mate in twos. But that's okay. We can start with the mate in three. Mate in threes are easier than mate in twos. It's a little bit anti-intuitive, but that's the way it is. Okay, games. And we got NKM. Boom. This is Matthew. This might be his bro. Kraai is going to fix the scene, but first, no clocks. So, boom, game review. We go over here. Pop. Over here. Boom, boom. So, versing someone at my chess club. This is not his bro who's 1800. Fine. Little weird, passive, but okay. Castles. Rook E1. You're doing great. Castles. And now you play H3. Now, H3, not the end of the world, but let me just tell you a joke about the Petrov. The joke about the Petrov is he just has this knight on e4. And, is it a liability or a strength? If it can sit there, then it's definitely a strength. And in this position, what he's inviting you to do is to nail this knight e5 in here. That's what I would be afraid of if I was black. Okay, you played h3. Good move. I'm not sure about knight bd7. Rook e8. c3. I would rather prefer knight bd2. h6. Boom. Long-term goal is to attack on the king side. Good. c6, you don't like it. I understand. Knight f1. And now he plays knight b6, which doesn't look right. I would say knight f8 is a little bit more circumspect here. Good. At some point, you're going to have to play knight e5. Queen c2. Now knight e5. Ooh. So, NKM, for the notes, for example, you clearly feel some dissatisfaction with bishop d6. And you should say what you don't like, right? I think it's very imperative to get this party started here. You don't want to trade pieces. Yeah, so knight e5, and then, you followed up with rook e2, rook over, yada, yada. This is a little weird to me. Knight f d7. I know why he did it, because he was worried on knight b d7 you were going over here. This is a little bit of profanity, but this is only what my Mexican friend said. He said, rooks in the center are big shit, and it's kind of true. Now notice, your opponent isn't fixing their knight. This guy's been a chump for a long time. Here. He goes back. All right. Good move. I like that. Knight c4. Now you got yourself a little question. Okay. Now this one I don't know, because I think, doesn't he want to play knight d6? This looks like a strong move. See? Because he can't really take, because his knight is actually hosed. Look at that. So that creates some drama for the dude. Yeah. Now we got some real pressure now. Okay, b3, knight d6. No, so what happened? You fixed his piece. Now his piece is doing a little bit of something. c4, I don't know what it threatens. He takes, unnecessary. c8, I don't get it. c5, definitely poor. I traded off these pawns in preparation to play c5 as I wanted to use it like dynamite and blast open the position. Right, but what's weird is that you gave him this little square. And so the simple move would be knight c7 for him. Just, bring it around, boss. Bring it around. Weird. No one understands. Here. Why are we helping him go back? Here. Dynamite! There it is. There's your dynamite. And now that's a chump move. He needs to play something over here, or just take this thing. Take that knight. He can't take it, Kraai. The queen's hanging. Oh, he's gone passive. Oh, kill him. There we go. I like all this. Queen d2. That ain't it. And here you say you would rather do g4. Yeah, you're doing great. I don't understand rook e5. You love putting your rook there. Just remember my Mexican friend next time. Rook d8, no one knows. I'm not sure I understand that. I don't know. Good. That's what we've been waiting for. Oh, that's a nice move, boss. That's a nice move. You should be proud of that one. And you say, I'm pretty happy with this move. Very nice. Very nice play. Nice. So, let me say a couple things. What you said you were working on your tactics, and ultimately it really paid off. That's a nice move. Boom. Boom. Yeah. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Mm-hmm. And one of the things, hopefully my comments, although acerbic, might be helpful, is that your positional play needs a little work. It's fine where you are at. You're playing, according to your level, but you can see that by going over your games a little deeper, you'll get a sense of how to prosecute these positions, right? How to prosecute them. All right. Okay, so here we go. Let's go back. That was NKM. Next up, we have Aritra Rocksheet. He says, I played a lot of ChessCom Rapid and read Winning Chess Strategies. Solidified my wipe opening. I am struggling to find good puzzles. Our puzzles, boss. Chess 5334 is not something I am looking for. I am looking for some chess puzzles which has both of themes of positional and tactical. Looking forward to complete the book Winning Chess Strategies and the next cohort book. Need suggestion on the book Winning Chess Strategies by Yang Book. I don't know what that means. Okay, so let's go take a look at what's going on with Aritra. Boom. Okay. Oh, West Bengal Senior coming up, dude. Roadmap to the World Championships. There we go. Started competitive chess in 2022. Oh, this is pretty good, man. It's pretty good. Yeah. May 25, he's got this West Bengal State Senior. That I'm gonna hopefully we'll be able to see some games from that. He's gonna need to use the heat map for sure. He's gonna need to be doing some tactics tests for sure. And at some point soon, probably, we're gonna get a transition to an OTB rating. Yeah. All right, let's take a look. Clubs. Okay. Activity. And maybe he's not marking down all of his activity. I have a feeling that's the case. He's probably not marking it all down. Hopefully we got a game, though. Boom. We got just one. Boom. Maybe I've already looked at this one, though. Let's see. Oh, Kraai, you still, yeah, you had looked at that one. And I'm on the wrong scene over here, buddy. No one told me. No one told me. All right, Aritra. Let me say some basic stuff. You need, for your senior goals, let's say you're going to be, it's clear you're going to be world champion. Everybody knows. But first, right? First, you're going to have to win that senior thing. And to do so, it would be helpful to go over, maybe I can switch this here. Is that going to work? Yeah. To spend more time going over your games, right? You only have one annotated game here. Put this down, every day you're going to need to be doing dojo work, right? Sweat work, not the easy stuff. And trust the program. You might say to yourself, oh, these puzzles are dumb. They're having us do. We got a lot of puzzles to be doing, by the way. But still, if you trust it, it's going to help. Because then you don't have to be thinking, oh, do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? No, just every day, boom, and then log it. Okay, let's go back. That was Aritra. Next up is Juzmil. Let's check out what's going on with Juzmil. And we're going to give Juzmil a follow. This is their first graduation. They have been here a little bit, about a year and a half. So that's a worthy graduation for sure. They've done some tactics tests, not as strong as where they're at. Okay, my friends. Well, we're back, I think. What a drag, dude. What a drag that I get booted from my own show. Yeah. Why do I get booted from my own show? I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. In any case, let's keep on keeping on. So, pop. All right, so here we go. I think we're back. I think everything's okay. All right, so what was going on here is we were looking at Yuzmeal. Okay, Yuzmeal's doing a lot of work. It's looking pretty good. And yeah, everything's looking glorious over here. Let's look. We got some games. Now, this game, though, was played a while back. These games are not too recent. So, Yuzmeal. We're going to look at one of these games, but we want more. This is a London player. Oh, there's something weird about the clock. All right, so let's get in here. We'll go game review. The clock is something weird going on with the clock. I don't know. So, London player. E6 is fine. There's nothing wrong with E6. Fine. Fine. This move is a little odd. C takes. Be better to play either bishop d6 or bishop e7. The problem with taking is that this pawn is basically stronger than this pawn. And when he recaptures this way, he's later going to have this file and the ability to sink this bad boy here. Simple play for white. This is called now a Carlsbad structure. H3, lots of tempo. We should just castle. Rook e8. I felt at this point my game was pretty passive and that white was ahead. My light square bishop is sitting on the sidelines for the time being, and it will take a few tempi to fix that problem. Now, I want to stress something very important. If you watch the start of the show, right, I talked about how players right around 1800 have a hard time feeling the sensitivity of their bad pieces. So here you feel the sensitivity, but rook e8 doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything about your bishop. Now, it's not immediately obvious how to fix the thing, right? But we do need to, right here, think of a plan of how to fix it. So, for example, coming to mind would be the idea of a6, b5. Now, we call this a minority attack, but beyond being a minority attack where maybe we weaken white's pawns, we also get the ability, hey, maybe, he at least moves out, right? Maybe we end up pushing all of them up. Maybe we get to the b4 and then a5 later, and then we get to play bishop a6. But something like that is at least, trying to get the thing out. You got to feel for the guy's pain. Castles, simple and strong. Bishop d6, knight e5, good move. Ooh, now this is going to be pain. So the problem now that what happened when you did this, it's really important to see, is now you've let this pawn push away your best defender from the king side. Okay, so now knight f3 is played. Now I want to stress something. In general, knight f3 is kind of a trick move. It's also a natural move. But it's a trick move in that it's threatening the great gift, bishop h7. Okay? But what it does, though, is it blocks the queen from being able to come over Grover. Right? So more natural, better, I think, would be rook e1 first, because I'd really like to play queen h5. Right? I'd love to play queen h5 or queen g4 to bring the lady in. That's our strong side of the board. Okay. If I was black, I would definitely play f6. I know I'm worse here, but this way I'm going to bring him in. And laterally now I'm going to open some lines to defend the king. So h6. g4, I don't understand. It's going to be hard for you. Rook e1 is the natural move, and at some point we want a bishop c2, queen d3. G4 makes no sense. Okay. I talked to my opponent after the game about this move idea. My intention was to take some space, and knight e4 is an interesting move. But why don't we like b5? Because it's not dumb. I don't actually have any problems with it. g5. Okay, here we go. The party is starting. h5. And now why wouldn't he consider at least g6? That's a scary move right there, buddy. g6. Boom, boom. Good move. Queen h5. Now, I want you to play g6 here, because I don't want him to play g6. Queen b6. Okay. Bishop e3. Bishop b7. Maybe. Do you have an answer to f3? I guess at this point you do with knight g3. He's got to play g6. He doesn't. So this is why you needed to play g6 earlier. Mate. Well, it's not mate yet, but it just looks real bad. Oh, God. I need to strive to get my pieces active, attack the center, and apply pressure to my opponent at all costs. Unfortunately, I don't think White had to do much calculating to win this game. Okay, good. So a couple things. This, you didn't notice that was a mistake. Didn't understand that was a mistake. Okay? Didn't see that was a mistake. After all this, you're in big trouble. And then here you really need to see that this was a mistake. So these are the ways in which your opponent got a very nice, super strong position. Okay. That's right. It's the swings. It's the scene switching that gets us in trouble. It's me in trouble. Okay. Next up, we got a couple more here. We got Dope Triss. Dope Triss. What does Dope Triss got to say? 1426. This guy could graduate already again. And he's done one checkmate test. Needs to do a little bit more. And now listen, this is what I'm looking for. Now, do you guys notice this heat map? It's basically when we started the heat map, he started going for it. Actually, that's not true. He joined and then just started going for it. He joined the 922. So look at that. Look at that beautiful heat map thing. You know, I just realized maybe we should do a thing where the Europeans get to see it in the other way. Because I know they get really upset when you don't put the day first, you know, the Europeans. They don't have freedom units either. So maybe we could just do something for them over here, you know? Okay. So, clubs, nothing. Activity, we got a bunch. All right. Looking pretty good. I have a feeling we're going to get a game. Nothing. Dope Triss, buddy. Oh, by the way, something I'm going to ask our dev crew about is people have been saying, and I need to, actually, I'm going to check after the show's done. I'm going to check my own profile. They're saying it's hard, anti-intuitive about the making the game public kind of situation. So I'm going to check that out. That's right. I'm going to allow Andrews. Andrew, I had to allow it because they were like, he said commie, and that's a bad word or something. Yeah, the commie units. What they really are is they're French revolutionary units is what they are. You know, are those commies? They didn't have that word back then, French Revolution. But, you know, in a lot of ways, yeah, those people are the real, I don't know. Those people were off the wall, dude. Dope Triss, we want more, buddy. But I like that you just joined the dojo. So but you are doing it. And so we like that a lot. We're probably going to see you again. And I think, actually, if I remember right, you could graduate again. So, you know, work a little bit, do some games, and then graduate. All right. They were the proto-commies. That's right. All right, Pamirani. I'm reading a great book on the French Revolution now, really changing the way I see the world. We're going to follow Pamirani. Boom. Pamirani could also graduate again. All right, so clubs, nothing. Activity, a touch. Games, we got a bunch. Here's Pamirani. Let's just take a look. These games are ancient, though. These games are ancient, Pamirani. What's going on? Have I already done this one? All right, we're going to take a look. Boom. This is a 15 plus 10. Oh, look at that. Wait a second. I marked it as reviewed. It's not really reviewed. So, yeah, we're just going to take a look. So that one, I don't know why, but this one is done. We're going to take a look then at this game review business. All right, here we go. This is Pamirani playing black. Fine. 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 Poor. So it's poor because h6 is a good move for you anyway, because it's kind of cool at some point to have the ability to play bishop h7. Now this is a little frisky. Probably playable, but frisky. Okay, now you're going to crush him, by the way. Now you know you're making a strong claim that you're just going to go end this fool's life. Knight c3, I don't like it. He's not going to do anything with a knight there. And now you got queen b6, and yeah, you should consider both g4 and h5. Both of those moves. You know, if I'm white, I'm terrified of those moves. Yeah. So, by the way, also just tactically, there's no knight h4 because you just take this coconut, right? So one of the things I want you to see about queen b6 is that you've committed this, let's call it an engine of attack on the king side. And so the natural move for you here would be h5. You know, that's what you're doing. And then when you play queen b6, you're going to the other side. And if you were going to go at him over there, which I think you have every right to at this point, you're going to want the queen to have access to the king side. And so queen b6 is leaving that theater. Okay, rook b1, I have a feeling, you know, white should encourage you to take that pawn. Castles, b4, and then you go, bam! And I love this move. In the moment I took this, but ultimately realized that this spelled trouble for my queen. Ironically, this was one of my first double exclams on ChessCom. I came out even on material, but I really did not like having no queen in this very jumbled position. The engine thinks this was the best move in the case, so I suppose whatever I did was technically correct. Now, let me just stress something. First of all, I think you didn't see that you were hanging your queen. That's the thing. Second of all, the reason the computer approves of you playing bishop b4 is now you're in a little bit of a jam. Because this engine over here on the king side has been abandoned. And now white's going to start thinking about this stuff, right? So that's why, you know, this is suddenly an interesting looking move. Now, what is cool is by doing this, you're going to get the experience of what it's like to sacrifice your queen. And what would it mean to have compensation, for example? Okay. Queen b1, and you're going to say, let's go win that pawn. Knight h4, good. Queen b1 looks poor, right? Boom, boom, good. Maybe he's got he's got like a c3 or, this is a little frightening. So c3 looks kind of scary, and also bishop d3 looks scary. That doesn't look scary. And you played knight c4. And you say, I really like this move, took a while to find. Why can't we take the coconut? Also, yeah, why couldn't we play c5 and h5 threatening at this stuff? I got questions. Uh-oh, I don't like that. He's playing queen c4 anyway, bud. Now he's got some grief on you. Oh, no. Well, now he's talking to your coconuts. So here, this looks like you're lost. It felt pretty even here with the connected rooks. But he's up the exchange, bud. And he's got a better king. What are we talking about? c4. He cracks you open. Bishop d4. Pop. Pop. And now g3. All right. Boom. And by the way, if you don't have this move, it's kind of hard. You cannot play bishop c5 because of queen c5. Now, could you play rook e6? Maybe. Maybe you play rook e6. But like after queen c2, he is working you. He's winning here. You got to have something special for it not to be winning here. And he finds a very nice tactic here. Very nice. Okay. So that was an interesting, fun game. And let me say this, okay, about the position from, let's call it an opening perspective. When your opponent plays bishop g5, it shows they don't really have a sense of what's going on. The dynamic of the position is you have a French structure, and you get to decide, you being black, you get to decide when you play c5. Second you play c5, the party's on. So white has to be vigilant about making sure that they can start the party when c5 happens. So mistake, because that's a good move anyway, because you have bishop h7. And now you're the one who does this madness. Okay? You're the one that does the madness. You could do bishop g4 followed by a queen move and knight f5. You know, you got options. Bishop h7, knight f5. All right, but you started the madness. And then here you got to continue the madness with h5. Okay. So, but interesting game. And I think, you know, a little bit more analysis here could make you feel comfortable with this kind of material dynamic. All players need to feel comfortable with this, and it takes a while before you can do it. Maxine, thank you for being here. So let's keep going. This is Budal. I think that's how you say it. Budal. I've been practicing CCT and visualization and positional playing. All right, let's go take a look. Oh, Kraai, you got to fix the scene, buddy. You got to fix the scene. So Budal has graduated numerous times. Their rating isn't quite up to where they've put themselves. Let's see if they got, but here Lichess is much higher, so I guess that's a rationalization. FIDE, 1176, 1533, and then we have to normalize it, yeah. Okay, so that's a pretty nice looking graph. Clubs for Budal, Norwegian. Am I saying it right? Budal. I'm just guessing, dude. Activity. So, boom, boom, boom. That's looking pretty good. I have a feeling he's definitely not logging all the time. It would be cool to see a little heat map stuff going on here. Let's click on their tactics for half a second. Winning chess tactics. Okay. Let's see if we get a game from Budal. Here we go. Boom. So, Kraai is going to look at the time real quick. Oh. All right, the standard rant. These people aren't thinking, right? No, neither one's thinking. It's an online game, obviously. Okay, Kraai, go back. Game review. By Andrew. That's a good question with the CCT. I was a little bit wondering myself. There's a thing called CT art, and I was like, is that what he's talking about? But maybe it is chess capture threats. Okay. So, major thing, people not taking their time. Oh, and I've already gone over this game. I did this game already. I did this one already. Okay. So, I guess, Budal, we're hoping that you can do more games. That's what we need. Blundergoat, on the other hand, look at this guy. This is our last for the day. He has been working like crazy, and he's saying, oh, Kraai, can you fix it? Let's fix it, buddy. He's saying, just assume Blundergoat. That's got to be a dude, right? After playing for many years, I've been trying hard to improve for about 5. Been stuck on a crazy plateau all that time, but finally feel like I'm making a breakthrough. Today, I gained enough ELO to graduate and very excited to start working on the 11-1200 cohort training plan. Okay, beautiful. 103 points of work. This is the inspirational story that gets me pumped up. Now, can we just say, this man's heat map is interesting. It kind of looks, and this is something we've actually observed in the dojo. It looks like the dojo a little bit in general, because what we've seen at the dojo is summertime, far less activity. So this guy was Blunder Goat. He just, the summertime, he was like, nah, I'm at the beach. I'm at the beach. I'm at the beach. So it's very common at the dojo for people to go to the beach in the summertime. Okay. It's 170 hours in 2024. He's joined us in May this year. So it wasn't just all of 2024. It's May until now. So that's some good work. He's got 1101 normalized. Done some tactics. Looks good. Okay, that looks good. Clubs. Down under. No stress. Good. Well, it's not true what you're saying, but because down over there, summertime, it's the winter time. It's the winter time down there, Bobs. What was he doing then? What was he doing in the wintertime? That's chess time. Yep. All right. Games. Hopefully we get a game. We got one. Let's go take a look. We want more, obviously. We want more than that. And now here's just something I want you guys to see. So here's the time graph. And the good news is our hero is playing white. So proper. And he's playing some online chump who's not thinking. So, boom. All right. All right. So, looks good. And let's get into it. All right. Fine. Bishop g4. Okay. This is a spicy way for black to play because black is basically either going to delay castling or castle long, in which case it's going to turn very spicy. And bishop e2 is by all means the best move here. All right, d takes c5. He likes it, though. And queen takes c5 he doesn't like and says, I expected this. Up a pawn and black without compensation. Okay, maybe. I got my questions, though. I got my questions. Can we start with this, dude? Can we start with that one? Check to the miserable king. No, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. If we go here, we can get pegged. Don't talk about pegging. You're going to get hurt with bishop f5. If we go here, it's going to go e5 with the threat of e4 plus bishop c5. I don't know. I don't like it. So, yeah, I think you got away with one. Good move. Fine. Queen b3. Fine. Okay. A little weird, but okay. Yeah, definitely a little weird. Let's develop. Okay. Let's go. We're giving a little question, buddy. A little question. He does this. I think this is a pretty big mistake. Opponents should be developing and try to castle, but they shouldn't block their rook. But let's just say we got to feel the guy's pain because you're threatening a little knight c7. Yeah. And you should tell us what you think they should do, right? One fun variation I just spotted is like a6, knight c7. Dude could say you're trapped. Your knight's trapped, but you say, bang! Oh no! I'm free, baby. I'm free. Mitch, thank you for rating us, buddy. We're gonna have Mitch working on our openings trainer, dude. We're gonna he's the one who could he could be our, what do we call those in the tech world? They call them our beta testers. Bishop d6, castles. That's a good looking move. a6, blunder time. Thank you very much. And now it's all over. Okay. I like bringing the other rook in, but this is fine. Bam. Is that it? I thought opponent would castle. Missed this move. So well, let's talk about it here. You know, El Simplicimus is like knight d4. You know, I don't know, man. Is that really Simplicimus, Jesse? Is that really Simplicimus? I mean, that one got to be it too. I don't understand queen b6. All right, so now, do you need to take that coconut? You say yes. You're still winning, obviously. Oh, but what are we doing? Why are we letting this? Now we're making it a little fancy. check. Oh, I like what that's cool. Bam! Oh, look at that bad boy. Bam! Oh, man, now you're bringing it. Nope. Mate. Okay, that was good. That was good. And one of the things I really want to stress that's cool here is you're playing this chump who is not thinking. They're just moving too fast. They're online, blah, blah, blah. And so as you advance, you're going to play stronger players who actually do think during their games. But for the moment, we want you crushing these fools. This guy might be a chess genius, but he's not able to think. Okay, so, yeah, but you've been a very bad student of the dojo, buddy. Very bad. Shame. Okay, couple things that I want to do before I leave us today. I want to go, first profile. Boom. I go profile. And I got to log my own business. Oh, Kraai, you need to fix your business. You need to fix the grad show scene. Okay, good. So, here's my little heat map. And I did some annotations this morning. Update progress. I did 2 hours. Very nice 2 hours. Okay, so I did that. And then, okay, we gotta go down here. Games and analysis. And then review games with that lower rated player. Boom, is this the way it works? Yeah, so I did about, I don't know, let's say I did about 5 today, so I'll go to 25. This doesn't give me any dojo points. I'm just kind of keeping track of how this is, you know, how many, I don't know if it's important, but I'm logging my business, and there I didn't even mark how much time I spent, so I don't know, maybe I should, I don't know. Okay, so let's go games, and so here's an example. So this is a game that I just did the annotations for. The game is unlisted. Other users can only find it if they have the URL. You can update this in the settings. Okay. Request and save review. Okay. Published. Yeah, so we'll put this as published. Bang. Publish. So I think this is important. I think a lot of people are doing, I didn't, there's loads of annotations I have in there, and they're in fact not published. Jesse, come on, buddy. Tuned in could be a chess genius, but he's not able to think. Were you talking about me? Well, I don't think so. I don't know. We're talking about our last guy's opponent. So Blunder Goat's opponent is who we're talking about. Okay. Good, my friends. I think I'm going to leave it there. A couple more dojo tasks for me to do before I am out. So, and here's Blip Up asking me an important question. So you got to publish your 500 chess space imports one by one. Well, here's the interesting question. I'm actually glad you brought that up. So if I go, watch, let's do this. If I go files, and here's my games, right? Is there a way, edit name visibility, edit folders? See, it says public. It says public, but I'm pretty sure that, well, I know those games aren't public. So what I'm going to ask Jack is, can I publish like a whole folder? You know, because then people can have their My Games folder, and then instead of doing it individually for every game, they just go bam. Like I would like to do. I have, 500, I don't know, loads of games in there. Right? So if I could publish them all at once, I don't want to do one by one, no way, right? Exactly, Blip Up's onto it. I'm going to ask Jack about that right now after I get off. Okay, my friends, that was fun. I'm going to raid somebody. Who are we going to raid? Let's raid friend of the dojo. I would raid Why So Serious, but that guy has too many Y's and I can't, my eyes, they hurt when I read him. So you tell him, our friend Mark Esserman, that he needs to change his name for me to start raiding that kid. All right, we're going to raid Chess Sharks.